Hi, I'm Zahra, and in this video, I'm going to briefly tell you what the Flutter is and what are the advantages of developing with Flutter. For this presentation, I used Mr. Tushar's slides, whose website can be found on the first slide. In general, creating a mobile application is a very complex and challenging task. There are different frameworks available for this. You can use the Android native framework based on Java and Kotlin languages, while iOS provides a framework based on Objective-C and Swift language. Thus, to develop for both of these operating systems, we need to use two different languages and two different frameworks. Today, to overcome this form of complexity, some frameworks have been introduced that support both of these operating systems as well as desktop apps. We call these frameworks as cross-platform development tools. Using these cross-platform development tools makes you able to write one code and deploy on the various platforms like Android, iOS, and desktop. Obviously, it saves a lot of time and development efforts of developers. Available cross-platform tools include some web-based tools like Ionic from Drifty, in 2013, PhoneGap from Adobe, Xamarin from Microsoft, and React Native from Facebook. Each of these frameworks obtained different degrees of success in the mobile industry, and the most recent cross-platform framework has been introduced by Google and is named Flutter. Flutter is a UI toolkit for building fast, beautiful, natively compiled applications for mobile, web, and desktop with one programming language and single code base. Flutter is free and open source. It was initially developed by Google and now managed by an ECMA standard. And Dart programming language is used for creating Flutter apps. Flutter was first announced in the year 2015 at the Dart Developer Summit. It was initially known as Sky and only could run on Android OS. On December 2018, the first stable version of it was released. As I mentioned earlier, Flutter apps use Dart programming language. The Dart programming shares several same features as other programming languages such as Kotlin and Swift and can be transcompiled into JavaScript code. Flutter is mainly optimized for 2D mobile apps that can run on both Android and iOS platforms. It is used to build full-featured apps including camera, storage, geolocation, network, third-party SDKs, and more. Flutter is different from other frameworks as it neither uses WebView nor the OEM widgets that shipped with the device. Instead, it uses its own high-performance rendering engine to draw widgets. It also implements most of its systems such as animation, gesture, and others in Dart programming language that allows developers to read, change, replace, or remove things easily. It gives excellent control to the developers over the system. Here we can see most important features of Flutter. It is open source, cross-platform, has the feature of hot reload, accessible native features and SDKs, minimal code, and it's based on widgets. The hot reload feature, as I mentioned earlier, makes the app development process extremely fast. This feature allows us to change or update the code, and this is reflected to the running app as soon as the alterations are made. It provides the smoother and seamless scrolling experiences of using the app without much hangs or cuts, which makes running applications faster in comparison to other mobile app development frameworks. Flutter reduces the time and efforts of testing. Why? Because, as I tell you before, Flutter apps are cross-platform and the testers do not always need to run the same set of tests on different platforms for the same app. It has an excellent user interface because it uses a design-centering widget, high development tools, advanced APIs, and many more features. To sum up this presentation, I would say that Flutter is a free and open source UI software development kit. It was introduced by Google and is used to build applications for Android, iOS, Windows, and the web. The first version of it was announced in the year 2015 at the Dart Developer Summit. It was initially known as Sky and only could run on Android. After the announcement, the first alpha version of it was released in 2017. Later, during the keynote of Google Developer Days in Shanghai, Google launched the second preview of Flutter in September 2018. And as I mentioned earlier, in December 2018, the first stable version of it was released. The latest Flutter version is 3.10, but the numbers mentioned in the slides is related to the year 2019. Finally, we have this graph from Hash Studio's website that, based on a survey, shows that Flutter has the most popularity among all the cross-platform app development frameworks. Thank you for watching this, and I hope it was useful for you.